Hi guys, Ann Gomez of Clear Concept Inc. here. I'm so excited to share another strategy in our Productive Leader series. Today, it's all about feedback. And when you need to provide some constructive feedback to help develop your team, there are 8 key things for us to keep in mind. The first is to make sure that you have established a trusting environment. We absolutely need to develop a relationship with our colleagues such that they will be open to our feedback. People need to feel valued, they need to be supported, and they need to feel appreciated such that they can be open to your constructive feedback selectively. Step number 2 is we want to check our intent. Before we go to provide feedback, we want to check what our purpose is. If our purpose is to criticize or to blame, then that's not going to be productive. If our purpose or our intent is to develop them, then that is a great intent. So that's a valid one that we want to lean towards when we're providing feedback. Step number 3, pick your battles. Now, as a former management consultant, I have been trained to rip things apart and nitpick like the best of them. But I've come to realize that in order to fully develop people and help them take on that initiative, I have to really pick my battles and let them do it their way. It doesn't always have to be my way. And so really, I only need to provide feedback on substantive issues, material things, and really let them own the approach for the most part. Step number 4, time it right. And there's 2 things to consider here. One is, are you ready to provide feedback? And we want to make sure that we are ready to have a calm conversation. If we've been frustrated about something, then we need to go away and wait until we're calm before we can have that conversation. We also want to check and see if they're ready. So a great question to ask is, hey, can I give you some feedback? If you sense that they're a bit defensive, then your feedback's not going to land. So wait for a better time. Tip number 5, ask instead of tell. One of the best managers I ever worked with had a habit of always asking, hey, Ann, how do you think that went? How do you think that could have been better? And when I came up with my own feedback, I was less defensive. So always ask versus tell. Tip number 6, be specific. Now, if I was to go to a golf coach and ask how to improve my swing, I would never expect the golf coach to say, yeah, your swing is wrong, right? I would expect the golf coach to tell me specifically what I can do differently. So we want to make sure that our feedback is specific. Tip number 7, catch them doing it right. Once you provided the feedback, going forward, you want to find when they're doing some or all of what you've suggested and recognize them and celebrate it for that. And you'll see more of that behavior going forward. Tip number 8, model being open to feedback yourself. If we're asking our team to be open for feedback, then we need to be open to feedback as well. When someone shares feedback with us, we want to be appreciative and we want to ask people for feedback. I hope that these 8 tips inspire you to continue developing your team in a very productive way. Thanks for listening.